We obviously know that Marvel is not going to sleep on Venom when it comes to films. That's just not going to happen. He's a character that pulls in a lot of money, and Spider-Man versus Venom is going to happen on film. How soon remains to be seen. You know, there's been rumors about Secret Wars or whatever else. But I only got one request in regards to Venom. Can we please make Venom scary again? Because I realize that across all mediums, Venom is now just a joke. He needs to be scary again. Do you guys remember when Venom was an actual antagonist? Do you guys remember a time when Venom would show up and it was straight up fear in Peter Parker's eyes? Do you guys remember those times back in the 90s and even the early 2000s? And I would say up until 2006, 2007-ish, this is how Venom was. And then right around, coincidentally or not, around Spider-Man 3 and some of the media released around there, Venom started to become like Deadpool light. Now, I'm not saying he's just like Deadpool, but they started to take the character in a more comedic direction. And I think the comics have largely forgotten what Venom is supposed to be and what he's like, and how you're supposed to use one of Spider-Man's greatest and most fearful and frightening looking villains. Like, think about this for a second. He is an alien life form. An alien life form that literally wants to find the best host and starts to infect them and turns them bad, and then goes out there and is literally causing damage, destroying people's lives, eating people. That is frightening. And what have we gotten from that in multiple mediums recently? Let's take a look at it, because the best use of it, I would say, would be Marvel's Spider-Man 2, the video game. And even though that completely remixes Venom, if you haven't played a game, I'm sorry for the spoilers, but it's Harry Osborn. It's not Eddie Brock. And the character is giant, and he is menacing, and he's a lot more in line with what I would expect from Venom to be like. Frightening. And the godly work of Tony Todd providing the voice is just icing on the cake for that character in that game. It just works. At the same time, in multiple cartoon iterations of Spider-Man in the last 15 years, he's been largely a joke. And the way they present him just comes off as we're trying to have fun with him now. In the comics, who hasn't held a piece of the symbiote or become Venom? Mary Jane Watson is about to become Venom. We've had Venom who was played by the Scorpion. Even though I like that, I know a lot of people hated that run, and I can see why. But at least he was kind of frightening because he was a little bit unhinged. But even that managed to take it in a, hey, look, comedy route, right? And over on the film side, what have we had? We had a Venom trilogy where he's a good guy. They made Venom a good guy. Not only that, he's not serious at all. Everything ends up being a joke. Every single punchline is just a joke punchline. That's literally it. Everything that happens is comedy. When he goes out there and actually eats people, which should be frightening and should be horrific, and we should see it, it's PG-13. They put on comedic noise and a comedy soundtrack. You have Tom Hardy acting in a comedic way, and Venom just comes off like a joke. So imagine if we got that Spider-Man versus Venom film featuring Tom Holland and Tom Hardy. What would that have looked like? Jokey Venom joking about wanting to attack Spider-Man and Spider-Man throwing quips at him. It's one and the same. So what I'm asking for is, when we inevitably get to seeing Venom probably in multiple appearances in the MCU, I would assume, can he please be Venom? Can he actually be scary again? Can we instill fear into those around Peter Parker that encounter Venom. Is that possible, or has the damage been done? Because I've talked to quite a few people, and I've seen people on social media when they post like flashbacks of Venom, or people are like, this is what Venom used to be like. People are like, I don't like that. I like the Tom Hardy version. Or, wow, this isn't good at all. Why isn't he having fun? Or why is Venom like, being this brutal, barbaric, almost foreign alien entity character that's scary? It's like, because that's what he is. That's what Venom should be. But media over the last 15 plus years has trained an entire fan base to think that all he is a comedy character. Much like Deadpool. Deadpool used to be somewhat serious. Deadpool and X-Force was serious. But when the first film took off and Ryan Reynolds got his way and Tim Miller was kicked off the franchise, they just straight up went into meme pool. And then the rest is history. We just got meme Deadpool now, and that's all people know Deadpool as. And all I'm saying is, when you bring Venom into the MCU, you need to treat him like a xenomorph. Like, think of this. You're putting together a film that has Venom. You don't need to infect the entire city with symbiotes. You don't need to go over the top and have asteroids falling all over the place. What I'm saying is, you use that little piece of symbiote and Eddie Brock. You establish his existence in the MCU. You have him bond with it, or some facility, I don't know, maybe Horizon. Somebody got their hands on the symbiote and engineered more of it. It binds with Eddie. And then what we're in for is about an hour of nail-biting, tense action that puts you at the edge of your seat. Something a lot more claustrophobic and confined. Think of that scene in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 where, Peter, evil Peter, is chasing MJ. That is a legit Alien-style scene that Ridley Scott would be proud of. Imagine seeing that in the MCU, as Peter and MJ or Ned are literally hiding for their life. They can't even make a noise. They gotta prevent themselves from breathing heavy. And suddenly you have this grotesque Cronenberg, the Thing looking monster on all fours, just climbing, trying to sniff them out, drooling everywhere. The symbiote pieces are just falling off and connecting to him because he's trying to figure out how it works. It's the initial first outbreak in the lab. The alarm is going off. It's intense. Think of how cool that would be. That's what we need with Venom. And when he takes full form, we need him to be frightening. I'm not talking Eddie Brock in the Venom films. I'm not talking that size. I am talking a grotesque-looking size that puts fear into you when you see him. Here, I'm going to generate an image and put it up of what I'm kind of thinking, I'm thinking like this, just unhinged. Peter is really questioning, what is this thing? And it just grows. It grows to 3-4 times the size of Peter. Truly something menacing. Think of how that would play out. Think about the fear. Think about how they can put you at the edge of your seat. Think about how much money they don't have to spend when the music and the soundtrack is intense. And Venom, he's around the corner and you're hearing the noise, but you don't know where. And suddenly you get flashes of light as the alarms are going off, or Peter throws down something, right, to try to flash it. And suddenly you got this giant thing staring you in the face, and it makes that grotesque noise. The theater will literally gasp. Look, all I'm saying is, can we please, for the love of everything that is Venom and Spider-Man, go back to Venom being somebody that's not the butt of every punchline. That's all I'm asking for. I get that this is Marvel, and I get that this is Sony, and that's what they did, and they're going to want to do that same thing. We can't do that same thing. We need a Venom that's actually Venom. When I see him in that film, I want to be petrified, because when he literally devours a person, I want to see how grotesque it is and see the fear in Peter's eyes. so I know that this means business. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.